The man suddenly noticed a creepy old guy staring directly at him during the meal, and his gaze is not concealed at all. Then he saw the young worker beside him looking nervous, eyes darting away. He didn't think much of it at the time, but in the middle of the night, strange panting noises woke him up. When he opened his eyes, he saw all his bunkmates wide awake, silently staring in the same direction, as if they were used to it. He followed the sound, and to his shock, he found the young worker being assaulted by the foreman. The foreman warned him not to interfere, but this man was a battle-hardened war veteran. He wasn't about to be scared off by an old pervert. Without hesitation, he grabbed the foreman and landed a few heavy punches. Turned out, this foreman was a notorious bully on the ship. The young worker had already been victimized multiple times. While he was comforting the kid, the foreman got up and grabbed a knife. That was the last straw. The man calmly pulled off his belt, eyes cold and steady. He exploded like a beast unleashed and beat the living hell out of the sick bastard. The noise drew the captain.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Drop the belt. Now.
He was raping him.
Everyone on the ship was Italian, except him. People assumed the captain would defend the foreman. But the moment he heard that the old man had raped a young worker, the captain didn't hesitate.
Portatelo fuori di qui. It is not your ship to police. You see crime, you come to me. Clean it up.
He handed down justice on the spot, and the man who stood up, fought back, and protected the helpless was none other than Spencer Dutton, the fiercest warrior of the Yellowstone family. The man was holding his breath, waiting for the leopard to appear, but something unexpected happened. A woman suddenly stepped out of her tent, just needing to relieve herself. Seconds later, she was in mortal danger. Spencer heard the noise and rushed toward it. Looking up, he saw a leopard crouched in a tree, its claws pressing down on the helpless woman. Without hesitation, Spencer fired his rifle and brought the animal down. But despite the shot, the woman didn't survive. Just when everyone thought the danger had passed, another leopard crept up and launched itself at Spencer. In a desperate moment, Spencer pulled out a knife and stabbed the animal. The leopard fled, injured, but not gone. Soon after, a black camp worker ran over to help, but the wounded leopard returned suddenly, sinking its jaws into the man's neck and dragging him into the bush. Spencer and the other man rushed in to help, but it was too late. Their friend was already gone. Furious, the younger man drove a spear into the leopard, and Spencer finished it off with a clean shot. Though both leopards were finally dead, they had lost a companion in the fight. Spencer was outraged. The man who invited him to hunt never mentioned there were 2 leopards, and he didn't even apologize for the loss.
But you didn't say that you were sorry. They were a breeding pair, Holland. Breeding pairs hunt together, but you only showed us one set of tracks. Don't say you're sorry.
I'm sorry for his family's loss. I'm sorry for his wife.
For his children.
His children, yes, his children. I'm sorry for...
Say it again.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, too.
Spencer demanded he pay the young man for his loss and arranged for the body to be returned home by train. This brave, principled hunter was none other than the Dutton family's own tough man, Spencer Dutton. This young man is sitting on the railing, ready to end his life. It turned out that ever since the ship set sail, an old man has been abusing him every day. He had been silently enduring it. But now that everyone knew, he felt utterly humiliated and saw no reason to go on living. But Spencer, who had long made peace with life and death, he didn't rush to pull him back. Instead, he calmly said, a man's fear doesn't come from what happens to him, but from whether he chooses to be a coward.
Is your mother alive? Does she love you?
Of course.
You're just gonna throw that over the side.
Your body and skin are gifts from your parents. Don't harm them lightly. Those few simple words were like a key that unlocked the young man's will to live. This act of kindness unexpectedly opened a new door for Spencer's journey home. He had been worrying about how to afford the next leg of his trip. Working as a boilerman could keep him fed, but it would never get him enough money to go back. The young man, noticing Spencer's fighting skills, suggested underground boxing, the fastest way to make money at the moment. Being Italian, he had no trouble communicating with the organizers. So, under his arrangement, Spencer stepped into the ring once again, this time fighting for the money he needed to get home. The rules were simple and brutal. 1 round to decide the winner, no time limit, no rules. Just fight until the other guy couldn't stand up. After 2 matches, they earned a total of $420, enough to buy a Ford Model T in those days. Spencer tucked the cash into his coat, lit a cigarette, and walked to the ship's bow, as if he could already see hope of returning home. This woman was trapped in the snow, her body was as stiff as ice, and her life was on the brink of death. But she refused to die in this desolate place, because she had traveled all the way from England to America and hadn't even seen her husband Spencer yet. Her unborn child hadn't come into the world either. She struggled to the front seat of the car, took the gloves from her dead companion, and borrowed her headscarf and cloak. Then, braving the freezing wind, she made her way through the snow, found a lighter on another male corpse, and trembled as she returned to the car. She lit everything in the car that could burn, hoping the small flame would keep her alive. But soon, all the fuel was gone, and no one had noticed her. She fell into despair. Fate was too cruel. She had crossed an ocean alone, endured so much, only to die here. Then, she faintly heard the sound of a train whistle in the distance. She quickly looked outside and saw a plume of smoke charging toward her. Hope was coming. Thinking fast, she rushed back to the front seat and poured whiskey onto the fire. The car burst into flames, the fire lighting up the snow. She screamed at the train, praying it would stop. If it didn't, she would lose her final chance of survival. But the conductor had no order to stop, and the train sped past. She was devastated, until one of the passengers saw her. It was Spencer. People were running inside the train, while she cried helplessly outside. Spencer pushed past the crew and jumped from the speeding train. Alexandra dropped to her knees, sobbing.
Spencer.
Thinking she was hallucinating. But this time, the miracle was real.
Spencer. Spencer.
Alexander's grievances and hardships along the way instantly turned into tears, but everything was worth it.
You sent smoke signals to my train.
You leapt from the train.
I leapt from the train.
Now that the train has left, Spencer knows that there is a town not far ahead, so he runs away with his wife in his arms. But something magical happened. The train actually reversed and returned for them.
The man suddenly saw a familiar figure from outside the window, immediately rushed out of the carriage without hesitation. He ignored the conductor's shouts and leapt off the speeding train. Outside, everything was covered in snow and ice. Alexandra, having just survived a car crash, was on her knees crying in despair. She thought she heard Spencer's voice calling out to her, and she believed it was just a dying hallucination. But as the voice grew louder, she looked up and saw a miracle. Spencer was running toward her with everything he had. She ran toward him too, and they fell into each other's arms. All the pain, the fear, the exhaustion, it all came pouring out in tears. In the middle of a blizzard, they had finally reunited. The train had already gone. Spencer is preparing to carry his frostbitten wife to the nearest town for help, just like he had once carried wounded soldiers in war. But then something incredible happened. The train reversed and came back for them. Spencer gently lifted Alexandra back on board. Her limbs were already blackened from severe frostbite. The conductor and the medic were in awe of Spencer's bravery. They said that's exactly why they turned the train around. The medic started emergency treatment right away.
Have you two met?
My husband, sir.
And as he listened to the two of them talk, he realized how deeply they knew and understood each other. He couldn't believe such a wild reunion actually happened. But for now, keeping her warm was the only thing they could do. The medics suggested not stopping at Livingston. They needed to get to Bozeman, where a proper hospital could save her life. Spencer didn't hesitate for even a second. He nodded and agreed immediately. He had finally found the love of his life, and now he would do anything to keep her alive.